Text Annotator. So it gives an extra layer of context to speeches and other content. So when we created this one, it was just that Joe Biden had been elected as president, and it was in his inauguration. And so we created this little text annotator, which I will go on to in a second. So this template is a premium template. You can easily add new annotations onto a sentence or a word. You can select from different annotation styles, and you can also select different layout alignments. So we have our text annotator example here, and I'm just going to switch over to the data tab, which is where all the kind of magic happens. And so when you have a, for example, we used a speech, and we have just copied and pasted all of our speech into this text box here. I'm going to just change this to yours. Here we go. And so we've imported our speech text into this text box here, and so that's what is now being displayed here. When we go over to our data tab, then if you have made a note of what text you want to be highlighted, and then the annotation that you want to pop up when we click on it. So you'll put the text that you want to have annotated there, and then we will put in the annotation that we want when it is clicked on here. And similarly, we will have the column bindings here. So we will have the text, which is within this part here. And then we will also have the annotation in column B, but they can be switched around. Just make sure that column bindings are that. Also make sure that the text is the exact same as in here. So for example, if I added like in, I don't know why I would, but when I click on, if I don't have it exactly right, that annotation is now gone. And this is just because Flourish kind of can't make for mistakes, if you know what I mean. So if the data is not correct, it won't know what to pull in. So I'm just going to take that in back, and then it realizes, oh, I can see that in this text. So I'm going to now highlight that. Onto the fun part. So when we click on this, it will pop up with this annotation, and the annotation is now being pulled in because we have column bound it to that. And so now that is popping up here. We can change all of these kind of stylings. So with the highlight color, we've just added this purple, but we can change it to a nice dark green. Oh, I actually really like that color. We can also change the size of the font. We can add it to the left align or the center align. It won't particularly go to the right align, just because this is where all of the annotations can pop up if we have it in a different layout, which I will show in a second. With the highlighting as well, so we can change whether it's like a background highlight, whether it's hand drawn, which will then you can change with how many lines or iterations it has. I'm just going to keep it as 2. Oh, what was it on? 3? Okay. You can make it that the highlight type is just the text color that changes, and you can also have it underlined really neatly. I think the hand drawn looks really nice sometimes. I don't know, I guess it's just because I'm quite a messy person, so I like it when things aren't particularly perfect. You can then change the hand drawn types to a circle. You can change it to a highlight, so it just looks like that. In a box, and once again, you can change them iterations or the thickness. And the underline as well. And you can also change how so for example, it's not rounded on the ends anymore, it's straight. Little things like this I just think are really fun and kind of adds an extra layer onto them. The annotation styling, so this is where we can kind of add it as a side panel instead. And so this is where kind of the left align comes into play. So if I click on democracy, if I click on our annotation link, it will now appear on the right side. So, or if we had the inline blocks, that's where it would pop up. We can also have the option that it will always show. So for example, if you do have not that many annotations, having it always on might actually be quite a nice little feature, just because then it kind of means that people haven't got to click on it and do things themselves, because some people can be lazy sometimes. I am, so this could maybe just make it a bit easier for them. The note content, this is the so this is what is pulling in the annotations. So you don't really need to mess with that. I never really change that when I'm using this template, so we just can keep it as that. Or I guess if we could put like this is an annotation. I'm guessing this will just appear before the annotation. Yeah, there we go. So if you did have some additional text that you maybe wanted to enter which would appear on every single annotation, you could enter that there. The mobile mode as well. So for example, as I showed you before, we have the ability to look at what it looks like on mobile. You can then change it so it looks like an overlay panel. We can click on click again, and it will appear like that. Mobile mode, if you press none, it will just appear on the side, and the inline blocks, it will appear underneath. And once again, you can change like the text color of the annotation in this little box to change the text color of the text content, which is there. You would change it here. And the highlight color, obviously, it changes there. I'm going to move those back to black. I'll keep that as that. Then once again, we have the exact same settings as you would on all of our other templates. So we have the layout, the background colors, everything like that.